Hi, I'm Beth Zagrabelny, the outgoing president of William & Mary's Students for Life. I'm going to talk to you now about how to run an effective meeting. The first thing to do in running an effective meeting is to plan ahead. Have a set agenda of what you're going to do at this meeting, who's going to do what, and most importantly, why you're doing what you're doing. If you can't think of a purpose for anything you're doing at a meeting, don't do it. Once you have your agenda set, you can go into the meeting. Always start your meetings with introductions and icebreakers. If everyone in the group knows each other, this is a great way to socialize, to release some stress, and make it seem less business-oriented and more like something fun that people want to be at. Whenever you have a new member show up, having a name game and an icebreaker can make that person immediately feel at home, even if they're the only new member. They won't feel singled out by having to introduce themselves in front of everyone or pointed out for being the only new member. After you do introductions and icebreakers, you can either do one of two things. Move into your announcements and upcoming events, or into the bulk of your meeting. Whichever you do, make sure you do it in the same order every week so that your club members know what to expect. After you get your announcements and upcoming events out of the way, or before if this is how you choose to do it, you can then move into the bulk of your meeting. The key to the bulk of your meeting is to know what you're doing, how you're doing it, and who's doing it. If it's educational, have slides, handouts, and whatever other else material you need prepared in advance. If it's some sort of a planning meeting or you're creating materials for events, have all the supplies you need on hand and know the forums for making decisions within your group. Also, whenever you run a meeting, make sure to keep it as brief as possible. Well, if you only have people out for 10 minutes, they're not going to feel like walking to your meetings. If you have people out for more than an hour, it's going to be too much time for a college student to plan. So keep your meetings under an hour, which means between icebreakers and announcements, the bulk of your meetings should run no more than 40 minutes. After you've concluded the bulk of your meeting, either move into the announcements if you haven't already done this, or find some other way to firmly end your meeting so that members know that they're free to go if this is what they choose to do. As you conclude your meeting, make sure to reiterate the main points of your meeting and any important upcoming events that you have. People need to hear something an average of 3 times before they're actually going to remember it. So don't be afraid to repeat yourself several times throughout the meeting. Once you dismiss your members and tell them to go home, hopefully you'll find that club members are staying in the room after the meeting to mingle, to create networks, and to create friendships. When this happens, don't kick them out. Don't rush them home. Some of your most brilliant ideas and the best feedback that you as an officer can get from your club can happen in the informal sessions after your meeting. As officers, make sure that you have an effort to break up any cliques that might be forming, including simply going out and mingling with different groups yourselves, so that you're staying in touch with all the members of your club. Finally, one thing that varies from campus to campus is how often you have your meetings. Some groups find that once a month meetings are fine. This allows them to disperse whatever education they need to their club, to create whatever upcoming events they need to, but still frees up time to actually host those events. On other campuses, however, you may need to meet more regularly in order to ensure that you have a regular slot in each of your members' schedules.